or some type of preliminary visa or immigration relief that requires or allows you to have that permit. You can't just go to the immigration office and apply for a worker's permit on a visitor's visa. It's a
That's
little bit
right.
more complicated than that.
Yes, exactly. And that's right. That's one of the most common questions I get. And sometimes I will even get this in a consultation. So I'm just landed here in the US. I've been here for a week. Where can I apply for that work permit? And usually that person, in that case, when they've just landed here, they've landed with a visitor's visa. But keep in mind that when you come to the US on a visitor's visa, you are not allowed to work. So there is no process that's going to allow you to apply for the work permit after you've just landed in the US and you're currently visiting on a visitor's visa. Now, what we do help clients who end up maybe overstaying their visas, and we're trying to figure out a way that where they can qualify for the work permit. But if your whole intention is you're here, you are visiting, and you want to pick up a job while you're visiting, that is not going to work in this case. All right, so let me, attorney, well, no, let me go with mine. So that was my next question, actually. I'm here on a visitor's visa. Can I apply for the work permit? You know that one. So the next one is after I talk to individuals and I find out that they fear returning to their country because maybe they're being targeted with violence based on their identity, based on a particular characteristic that they may have, based on their religion or their political opinion. Uh, I then tell them when they qualify that they can apply for asylum and we can move forward with that. And when they come here on a visitor's visa, the next thing is like, well, don't I have to cross the border to get asylum? And actually, I did talk to someone who actually had their visa, but they did not realize that they could have come here on their visa and then applied for asylum in a less stressful situation. Instead, this person with a visitor's visa came through the border. And this, as a result of the way that she entered the country, she lost her visa. So I want anybody who is not applying for asylum because they think that they can't because they didn't go through the border. Not true. I know it's all over the news about asylum seekers at the border. Yes, but you can apply for asylum coming in by plane, and when you are plane, you can by ship, by any legal means. If you come in through legally, I mean, those who come through the border do come in legally because they get permission to come in unless they sneak in. But, no matter how you enter the country, just know that as long as you are within the deadline to apply, you can apply for asylum. And so this is where, though, it's very important to talk to us in a consultation to determine whether you can qualify. All right. What's your question, Attorney Bria?
So my next question would be, can I file for T status if I have a pending asylum case? And my answer would be yes, if you are eligible to file for T status. You can file while you have another asylum case pending because those do seem to take a very long time. And however, too, when you're applying for T status, you can use your pending asylum case as proving extreme hardship of why you shouldn't go home. So they really can play off each other really well in that case, since they're both humanitarian forms of relief from immigration.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's a good point. And keep in mind that, it's always best to check if you can apply for multiple forms of relief or applications at the same time, because some may contradict each other, right? For example, you wouldn't apply for VAWA, but then be applying for a marriage-based green card and say, oh, whichever one gets approved, we'll go with it, right? Because those contradict. How are you applying for VAWA, but also trying to apply for a marriage-based green card? However, in the case of asylum, there are many times you can, if another form of relief or another qualification comes up while you're here, because asylum takes a long time, you can take advantage of that. All right. Mine, let me see. The last one I have. This is regarding VAWA. So, they never hit me, right? They never hit me. They never attacked me physically. They never abused me physically. Can I still qualify for VAWA? The answer is yes, absolutely, because abuse does not just come in the form of physical violence against you. Abuse, it comes in different forms, verbally, emotionally, um, financially, even. So it's not, and keep in mind that with VAWA, the standard is also extreme cruelty. So, for example, even if a spouse says, you know what, I'm not applying for your green card because you're going to leave me. Or if you don't do this, I'm going to cancel the papers. That's considered extreme cruelty. And this is in the policy of the immigration service, by the way. They look for things like this. So if your spouse, if your family member is using your immigration status against you, it can qualify you for VAWA, even if they've never laid their hands on you ever. So keep that one in mind. And then, Attorney Bria, what do you have?
Another question I had is if they were to file for T status because they were eligible, and they've experienced any unfairness in the workplace, will their employer know, or will any of their friends that may work at the workplace get in trouble if their employer were to find out? And my answer is always no, because the way that we handle the T visa applications, we're not opening up any investigation. It's only for immigration relief. So that way, the Department of Labor keeps it confidential in that sense.
That's right. Yes. So with the T status, that's right. I often say it's whatever the client wants it to be. If the client needs it to be confidential, it can be done. If the client wants justice, it can be done. And we do everything on behalf of our clients so that they're protected and not intimidated by the entire process. So that's right. It's an important question. Now, the last question that I get very often is after I tell someone you qualify for relief, good news, right? And in some cases, it's just not possible, right? Our goal is to help 100% of individuals that come to us, and we work very hard to see what we can do. And so when I am really excited when I tell someone that they qualify for assistance, and then the thing which is very valid, of course, it's a very valid question, it's a very valid fear. But the one that I get often is, well, what if I get denied? What's going to happen to me? Are they going to come after me? And usually in cases like this, the client does not have their papers. And, my answer is this. Well, what if you don't apply? What risk do you think you're at right now? If you're not applying, you have zero protections. You have not submitted any forms of relief. So at the point that you have no protection, you are actually at an increased risk now, not when you're applying. When you're applying, I don't take my cases lightly. I take my cases that I believe in, that I am confident in. And so at the point that I'm saying we can help you, at that point, you should know that you're at a lower risk submitting this application than you are at the present moment without your papers, because you're just going to be at that high risk and you're just going to be a sitting duck waiting for something to happen to you, right? So I often make that point that you're not at an increased risk. Right now, the way that immigration works is they do not just go pick up people where they deny their applications. This is written policy, by the way. So what they do is they have a priority of people that they deport. And so they're going to look at their priority for deportations. They're going to look at, are you a danger? Do you have a criminal record? Are you a danger to national security? Are you a danger to the public? Or have you crossed the border illegally recently? In that case, that is where you are going to be at a higher risk for deportation. However, in other cases, you've been here for a while, you're law abiding, you're not at a high risk of, endangering the public or national security. You are not on their radar for deportation. And so, right now, as we have that policy in place, it's time to apply for your relief. The way you're going to do that is by going ahead and scheduling your appointment with us. So, Attorney Bria and I work together, and we would like to help as many people as possible. So, I'm also getting an additional attorney on board to help us because our schedules are filling up very quickly and I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait another week to help you. And so we are opening up all of our schedules to make sure that we can assist you with your options because the time is now. So now that we have told you what the most common questions that we get when we're talking to individuals, I want to also, answer some questions that you may have, because I know you all have questions. So Attorney Bria is just gonna go through. So we're gonna do the same thing, the back and forth. So I'll answer two questions. So we'll answer two questions at a time. I'll answer two on Instagram and TikTok, and then you can take two at a time on YouTube. So I'll go ahead and I'll start. Everyone, Attorney Bria is online with me. Go to YouTube, Getting the Green Card, or go to Facebook, ST Law Office, and you'll be able to see Attorney Bria. There you can interact directly with Attorney Bria. Hi, good day. What are the waiting times for the T visa to approve? And what if I only have memory for what happens to me on the job? So the wait time right now is the processing time ranges from 6 months to 18 months on average. I'm seeing the decision in 1 year. Now, it's from case to case. There's no way, if this happened, what I will say to you is if it happened to you, you know it happened to you. Obviously, it's irrelevant. You understand that something happened to you. If as long as you have that in your memory, you have a good shot at this. So this is where it's very important to call us, talk to us about what you remember, because that is a big part of this, is that when you're affected, when you're victimized, some things you wipe out of your memory because it's such a terrible thing to remember. When you're abused, exploited, you don't remember everything. It doesn't mean that you can't qualify. So this is where it's very important to talk to us in our consultation, and we'd be more than happy to help you. One more question, and then I'll push it over to Attorney Bria. I'm a J1 intern, and my employer keeps threatening me and telling me he owns my visa. Can I get a T? You have a really good, just based on that, red flag. And usually when I hear that as the starting point, it turns out that, the person does qualify for a T. If you're here on a J1 and they're threatening you, telling you they own you, that alone is coercion. So they're forcing you to stay in the situation and threatening you to make sure they're keeping you there. So where you're going to get confirmation and assistance to get this going is in the consultation. Our schedules are filling up quickly, so make sure you schedule your appointment. But yes, we're going to, that definitely is a red flag a T visa. Attorney Bria.
Okay, so one of the questions I see from Ms. Shanice Hahn is, are text messages sufficient for VAWA evidence? And depending on what the text messages exude, for instance, if it's evidence of the abuse from the spouse, it can you can submit it as evidence, and also too your declaration about what happened with the abuse that occurred within your relationship can also be used for evidence for a VAWA application as well.
Perfect. All right. So I am seeing them coming hard and fast in TikTok as well. So I'm going to answer some questions in TikTok. How long after all documents are accepted do you take to getting an interview date? So I'm thinking you may be out of the country and you're documentarily qualified. So at that point, you're going to be waiting. Right now, I'm seeing a year and a half is the average time for an interview. So it's frustratingly slow right now. It could be shorter, maybe even could be longer. It really depends on the embassy and how filled out they are, but that's the processing time I've seen. And I've represented clients all over the world. So and I've consistently seen a year to a year and a half for this. How long after biometrics for T visa do you wait for a decision? So I would say 10 to 12 months after. When your VAWA is approved and it's 5 months, how long for the green card? So I would say it could range from 6 months to a year. Usually, right now, because the decisions were taking so long, I'm seeing they're sending RFEs for the medical first, and then they'll send out the green card. All right. Do you see any other questions, Attorney Bria?
I see one question. I'm from India. Can I travel on VAWA advance parole to a third country while my asylum is open and pending? And I'm not necessarily sure if you're from the third country, but you have to be careful when you have an asylum case pending, because if you were to return home to the country that you're fleeing, that could be considered abandoning your asylum case. Luckily, you do have it. You're on VAWA as well, so that's a good thing. But I do want to make sure that you know that if the third country that you're visiting is your home country that you're seeking asylum from, that can constitute as an abandonment of your asylum case.
Exactly. And then in addition to that, if you're gonna leave, I mean, I would not recommend you have a pending asylum. I would just say stay put. I mean, I understand though that sometimes things happen that you feel you need to go. But before you go, make sure you always get a travel document as well. That maybe that can serve as some form of protection or reassurance to get back into the country. All right. So let me see here. How much is a consultation? It's $150. And you can book with either me or Attorney Bria. How long does it take to get a notice of receipt for an I-212 form? So I'd say 2 to 4 weeks. What if you don't have evidence for VAWA? If you remember what happened to you, you have evidence. It's in your memory. We put it down on paper. That's your evidence right there. Attorney Bria, do you see anything?
I see a question. Can I get a work permit while waiting for T visa? So I'm assuming you already have filed for T visa. With the approval of your T visa application, that's when you receive your work permit. But I guess it kind of piggyback to the question that we had earlier, is whether you could just get a work permit just by being here. And that's not necessarily the case. You may have to wait until your approval of your T visa to get that work permit.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So with the adjustment of status, that's the only one that really allows you to get the work permit while it's pending asylum and adjustment of status. But with the T visa, you do have to wait. If you've been the victim of a crime, also offers you deferred action that gets you the work permit because it takes so long. It takes 7 to 10 years to get the U visa. But with the T, you have to wait till approval. Approval comes within 6 to 18 months, depending on whether they have questions. Um, Oh, that's so nice, Ricky. Enjoy time. So Ricky said got approved for AP. That's the travel document, leaving Sunday, come back Friday. 25 years since I've seen my family. That's awesome. Have a good
Hmm.
time with your family. How long does it take for an application to be approved for VAWA with DV? So it's taking right now 2.5 to 3 years, but keep in mind during that time you're able to get the work permit. Work permits are 5 years right now, and that holds you over until you can get the VAWA approval and then the green card. Attorney Bria, anything on your end?
Um, I'm not necessarily understanding this question exactly, but it says, "Can I apply for VAWA son over 21?" And if your son, I'm assuming if you're filing for VAWA from the abuse that your son, that you experienced from your son and they're 21, that you should be able to apply for VAWA. I hope I answered that question correctly
Yeah,
in terms of
exactly.
like what she was asking.
Right. Yes, because it could go both ways. So
Mm-hmm.
if your son is a U.S. citizen and over 21, then yes. If you are the son and you're 21 or over, then it depends. So if the delay to applying was caused directly by the mistreatment, then yes, you can apply for VAWA as long as you don't get to 25. So they give you a little leeway, but you do have to show that, say the parent restricted you in every way. You were living in their household. There's no way you could apply. They were mistreating you. Then you got to 21, maybe 22, 23, and you escaped the situation. You got out. At that point, you could definitely say the delay to applying for VAWA was related to the mistreatment by your parent, and then apply ASAP before you get to 25. So you have to be 24. When you get to 25, it's too late. All right. So let's see. What if you don't have evidence? How long does it take to get? Oh, I answered that. How much is a consultation? Is USCIS still issuing combo cards? Yes, they are. Sometimes to rush things along, they will separate them. They'll send you the travel document and then send you the VAWA. But in your case, um, I don't know in your case, but I know most of the cards are coming through. By the way, we did get this morning, we got another VAWA approval. We got work permit approval. So guys, these clients, they started out, I was confident, but they started out unsure about how this was going to pan out. But they knew they had faith in my ability as their attorney, in my team's ability, and here they are. They had the same fears as you. You know, they had the same exact fears. What if I get denied? What's going to, what if I don't have evidence? What if, right? What if they don't accept the proof that I have? What if it's not enough? What if this person decides to call immigration on them and everything turned out fine? They're protected. They're okay. I know one of my clients has been to multiple cruises. I visited her country. Has really gotten some peace and enjoyed herself while she was waiting for this time, for this moment, because she was able to get the relief that matters. And so this is one of the things I want to point out to you here is that you don't want to wait. Don't wait. I've seen too many times you wait and then that opportunity passes. So schedule your appointment. Make sure you go to the link in the profile. You will see Linktree. You'll see the option to schedule and confirm your own appointment. You can also call the office by going to the website. You'll see the number to call. Call and schedule so that we can help you because we're here to help. So go ahead, call us, schedule that appointment. That's the way you're going to get the help you need to get where you want to be here in the US. All right. So thanks again, everyone, for joining me. I am going to be back again. I know I took a very long time this time, but I'm working on getting back. We have a lot of work to do. We have many clients that are coming to us for relief. And so we do have to make sure that we can get this done for them. So I've been very busy, but I've been making time to come on here. And Attorney Bria has taken her time as well to talk to you about some of those questions. So give us a call, talk to us. We can help you. All right. Have a great one. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow to talk to you more about immigration topics. And we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in immigration right now. So right now, I'm not going to get into the details, but we have changes to the T visa, positive changes to the T visa. They've made positive changes previously back in 2021. Well, it gets even better. We have, but at the same time, Biden is now looking at changing asylum policies. So we should talk about that. And then we have, again, the trend where states are, we have the states where there are proposed laws like Georgia. It's now officially law there that they can stop you and detain you until and call immigration, right? So this is where I say, do you want to sit there and wait for something like that to happen where you get detained? Or do you want to have something on file that they know that you are applying, that you are qualified for what you're applying for, right? You're at a higher risk now than ever before because of the laws that are trending across the country, the rhetoric that I'm hearing, and I'm even facing some of this myself as an attorney who is a strong advocate for my clients, those who work hard here, those who are making a life here. We're all being villainized, right? So the rhetoric is very toxic right now. So but there is this relief here. It's available. It's there. So call us. Let's talk about what you qualify for and get started. All right. Have a great one. Thanks so much, Attorney Bria.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
So you can always come back. All right. Have a good one.
Bye
Bye, everyone.
bye.